So distance is equal to what? Speed into time. So it tries to say you the distance always remains very constant. What varies is speed and time. These are the two elements that vary. So what I mean by saying this is that imagine this is a distance of 100 miles. And if you are traveling at 100 miles per hour, what is the time that you will take? 1 hour. If you are traveling at 200 miles per hour, what is the time that you will take? Half an hour. If you are traveling at 50 miles per hour, the time that you're gonna take is 2 hours. So what you get to understand from here is that speed and times are inversely proportional to each other. In the factor, when you travel at 100 miles per hour, you took 1 hour to reach the destination from A to B. When you have increased the speed by twice, time has decreased by 2. When you have decreased the speed by 2, time has increased by 2. Just check it out. It will increase and decrease exactly in the same factor, and that's the reason it is told that speed is inversely proportional to time. In whatever factor you increase the speed, in the same factor, time will decrease. It's a straightforward logic. When you decrease the speed, in the same factor, time would increase. So entire distance, speed, time problem is solved by either by equating distance or time. You don't equate speed at all. So either you have to equate distance or you have to equate time. That's all. However the complex problem is, it doesn't matter at all. You either equate distance or time. Please be very sure that relative speed is not asked in GMAT. Relative speed is not considered. Like the speed of A with respect to B is nothing but speed of A minus speed of B. These things are not considered in GMAT at all. So what happens? Relative speed comes usually in the problem where swimming and all are involved, that you are swimming from A to B. Now imagine if you are swimming with water, so your speed is technically equal to your speed plus water speed. When you are swimming against the water, then your speed is equal to your speed minus the speed of water. So please understand, relative speeds are not asked in the exam. If it says that in a river, you have to swim from A to B at 5 miles per hour, so the speed is just 5 miles per hour. You will not be considering the speed of water at all. The flow of water speed will not be considered. So relative speed is not the part of GMAT, and that's the reason this chapter in GMAT is not tough at all. It all depends on how you read the question and how you equate your problem. So this is one thing. The second, there is a second term called average speed, which is actually, people get confused with this term a lot. So average speed is nothing but, let's say if you're going from point A to point B, and there is a point C over here, there is a point B over here. Let's say AC is 100 miles. Let's say CD is 200 miles. And let's say DB is 300 miles. If you're going from A to C at 100 miles per hour, if you're going at C to D at 200 miles per hour, if you're going from D to B at 300 miles per hour, what is the average speed? So average speed is just simple. Do not ever confuse. Whatever they ask you, you're going from A to B or B to A, or you're going from A to C, C to D, D to B, it doesn't matter at all. Average speed is nothing but total distance by total time. That's it. So what is the total distance over here? 600 miles. And what is the total time? When it goes from A to C at 100 miles per hour, it will take 1 hour. 200 miles, it is going from C to D. 200 miles to at 200 miles per hour, it will take 1 hour. Here it will take 1 hour. So total time is 3 hours. That is nothing but 200 miles per hour. This is your average speed. So based on this simple logic, you have 2 or 3 questions. Can we do that? Question number 22, please. Right? What's the answer? So it says that Lexi walks 5 miles from point A to B in 1 hour. So this is point A to B, and this is 5 miles. Lexi walks 5 miles from point A to B in 1 hour, then bicycles back to point A in the same route at 15 miles per hour. So this is going at 5 miles per hour. This is coming back at 15 miles per hour. Ben makes the same round trip, but at the half of Lexi's average speed. How many minutes does the Ben spend on this round trip? So first of all, tell me what is the time taken by Lexi to go from point A to B and B to A? The time taken by Lexi to go from point A to B is 5 miles distance. It is going at 5 miles per hour, so technically 1 hour. And what is the time taken to come from B to A? 5 by 15. That is 1 by 3 hours. We have to convert into minutes because they're asking you question. The answer question is asked how many minutes Ben take. So total time taken by Lexi to go from A to B is 60 minutes. Coming from B to A is 1 by 3 into 60. That is 20 minutes. So total time taken by Lexi to go from A to B plus B to A is 60 plus 20, that is 80 minutes. Now it says that Ben makes the same round trip at the half of Lexi's average speed. So what I've told you, speed and time are inversely proportional to each other. It says that Ben makes the same round trip from A to B and B to A at the half of Lexi's average speed. So if it is taking, if he is reducing the speed by 2, that is half, time will increase by 2. Simple logic. So time taken by Ben would be how much? 80 into 2, 60 minutes. 160 minutes. Any problem? Siddhi, Apeksha, is this clear?
Yes.
Apeksha, any problem here?
No, Rahul.
I've simply taken out total time taken by Lexi to go from A to B and B to A is 60 minutes. Now it says that Ben makes the same round trip, but at the half of Lexi's average speed. What I've told you, speed and times are inversely proportional to each other. Give me 1 second. So I've simply told you the total time taken by Lexi to go from A to B and B to A is 60 minutes. Now it says that Ben makes the same round trip at the half of Lexi's average speed. So time taken by Ben will be double of Lexi. Simple logic. So total time taken by Lexi is 80 minutes. And Ben is at the half of Lexi's average speed. So time taken by Ben will be twice. So 18 to 2, 160 minutes. That's it. Question number 23, please. Simple question. Yes. Perfect. It's a straightforward question. It says that Dan runs along 2 mile stretch of river and then swims back. So moment swims back happens over here. It is equivalent in GMAT that is going from A to B and coming back from B to A. I've told you relative speed is not the part of GMAT, so do not get confused with the swimming stuff and all. So it says Dan runs 2 mile stretch of river. Let's say A to B is 2 miles. and swims back along this. If Dan runs at the rate of 10 miles per hour and he swims back at 6 miles per hour, what is the average rate? So average rate is nothing. Average speed, what I've told you. Total distance by total time taken. Do not be confused at all. Total distance is 4 miles going from A to B and coming back from B to A. What is total time taken? What is time taken to go? 2 by 10. That is 1 by 5 hour. And you have to convert it to minutes because question is asking you in minutes. So 1 by 5 into 60. 12 minutes to go from A to B. And what is time taken from B to A? 2 by 6, that is 1 by 3 hours into 60, that is 20 minutes. So total time taken is 12 plus 20, that is 32 minutes. So 1 by 8 is straightforward. Any problem? Nothing needs to be done. This is absolutely class 7th, 8th question. Question number 24. Can you please try this? C. Yep. It says what? What is the distance between Henry's home and office? Let's say this is Henry's home and this is office. They're asking you to find the distance. To get the distance, you need speed and time. It's straightforward logic. Nothing else is required. Option number 1 says Henry's average speed to the commute to his on his commute to the work this Monday is 30 miles per hour. So they give you just speed is 30 miles per hour. Now don't get confused by this average term. Whether you say the average speed from going back from A to B is 20 miles per 30 miles per hour or it's the average speed. It is considering just one distance. So average speed and speed is exactly the same thing. When there are intervals that A to B at 30 miles per hour, B to C at 50 miles per hour, then average speed comes as total distance by total time. But here they are just trying to confuse you by saying this word that Henry's average speed on his commute to the work this Monday was 30 miles per hour. So they are talking about just one speed from home to office. So either you say it as speed or you say it as average speed. That doesn't matter at all. So option number 1 gives you just a speed. So it's not sufficient. Option number 2 says what? If Henry's average speed on his commute to the work this Monday had been twice as fast, his trip could have been 15 minutes shorter. So what it says, it means that imagine on a normal day, if he traveled at X miles per hour, he takes time T. So what is the distance that he covers? XT. But on this Monday, what happened? His speed was twice. So it was 2x miles per hour. So time that he would take is what? T minus 15 minutes. So what is distance? 2x into t minus 15. But don't you feel this distance and this distance is technically the same? What I've told you in distance, time and speed in GMAT, you are supposed to only equate distance or time to solve any problem. However complex the problem is, it doesn't matter. So now these are the two same distance. Now I'll just equate it. Xt is equal to what? 2x into t minus 15. So x cancels. T is equal to 2t minus 15. So 2t minus 30, sorry. 2 into 15, 30. So t is equal to 30 minutes. So option number 2 gives you time. Option number 1 gives you speed. So when you combine, you will get distance is equal to speed into time. That C is the answer. So you don't have to do so much for statement number 2. This is a very normal process. But what I've told you, speed and times are inversely proportional to each other, right? In the factor you increase the speed, in the same factor time decreases. In the factor you decrease your speed, in same factor time increases. So speed and time are always inversely proportional to each other. So imagine. So it says Henry's average speed to commute to this work on his Monday was twice as fast. So on a normal day, he goes at x miles per hour, it takes time t. On this Monday, what happened? His speed was twice as fast. This was twice. So according to the logic, time should decrease by 2, right? Am I clear? According to the logic, what we study, that speed and time are inversely proportional to each other. And the factor we increase the speed, the same factor time will decrease. And the factor we decrease the speed, the same factor time will increase. So it says a normal day, Henry goes at x miles per hour, it takes him time t. On Monday, what he did, he went at 2x miles per hour. So time accordingly should be what? T by 2. And this T by 2 is nothing but equal to 15 minutes. So T by 2 is equal to 15. So T is equal to 30. So you can get a statement number 2 with a small logic. That's it. Answer 30. Either you do this if you have understood the concept of speed and time are inversely proportional to each other. If not, then you will have to do this entire thing. Am I right? Apeksha, any problem?
No.
Apeksha, is this clear? Perfect. So before we go to the next concept, there's one more concept, just one more concept, that's all. So imagine A is traveling at speed of 100 miles per hour. He starts at 12 o'clock. And B is traveling at speed of 200 miles per hour. And he will start at 1 o'clock. Agreed? Now, what is the default understanding? Let's say A starts at 12 o'clock or A starts at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It just does not matter to us at all. It's all a hypothetical situation where I'm telling you that A starts at 12 o'clock and is traveling. So he's traveling right at the same speed in a hypothetical situation that there is a road, a straight road where it's going on and on and on. And now B is starting at 1 o'clock after 1 hour at 200 miles per hour. So technically, B will 100% catch A at all for sure at one point because B speed is more than A. Imagine you start a journey from Bangalore to Mumbai at 10 o'clock at 100 miles per hour. I start at 2 o'clock at 300 miles per hour. I'll overtake you for sure at one point of time. That's a normal logic. If my speed is more, I will overtake you. Simple logic. You might start before, it doesn't matter at all. But if we are traveling in a hypothetical distance, well, 100% I'll catch you for sure. That's the logic. That's what the logic is. That if my speed is more than you, I'll catch you. But if your A speed is let's say 300 miles and my B speed is 200 miles, then B will never be able to catch A at all. At absolutely, he will not be able to catch it. The entire logic gets flawed over here. So the concept here is time taken by B to catch A. Time taken by B to catch A. This is called gap distance by difference of speed. Simple, straightforward logic. Time taken by B to catch is nothing but gap distance by difference of speed. Is this understood? Yes or no? Now, what exactly is this gap distance? So imagine 12 o'clock is starting. So in 1 hour, how much he will travel? At 1 o'clock, he'll be at this place. And how much he'll travel in 1 hour? Distance is equal to what? Speed into time, 100 into 1 hour. So 100, he'll travel for 100 miles. So at 1 o'clock, he's at this place. At 1 o'clock, B is at this place. So what is the gap distance? At 1 o'clock, the difference of distance is how much? 100 miles, right? So gap distance is 100 miles. Simple logic. Why difference of speed? That is difference of speed is what? 200 minus 100. That is 100. So we will catch in 1 hour. So imagine next 1 hour how much he'll travel. Again he'll travel for 100 miles. So at 2 o'clock he'll be here. But what is a B speed? 200 miles per hour. So he's traveling at 1 o'clock. At 2 o'clock B will also be here because B has traveled for 200 miles in 1 hour. So B will catch A after 1 hour. It's a straight, simple, forward logic. Is anyone has any problem over here? Please tell. Gap distance is nothing but ensure that it at 1 o'clock B is starting. You just have to ensure that at which point A is at 1 o'clock. So A at 1 o'clock is 100 miles. So this is considered as a gap distance. So gap distance by difference of speed. Even if B speed is 101 miles per hour, then also B will catch A. It may take time for him to catch A. Then in that case also, what is the gap distance is 100 miles for sure, but difference of speed becomes what? 101 minus 100, that is 1. So it will catch in 100 hours. It means for every 1 hour that A will travel 100 miles, B will travel 101 miles. So in next 100 hours, he'll be able to catch A. So technically, if the speed of B is more than speed of A, B will 100% catch. Whatever the speed is, it doesn't matter. And it's all hypothetical situation. Distance, time, and speed are not solved by taking a real time example. It's not that you can carry on in 1 hour, you will reach 100 miles, even if your speed is 100 miles per hour. No, there is a speed breaker, you will have to slow down. There's a traffic on the road. In a real time, I'm trying to say. So these are all distance, time, speed, work rate is all based on hypothetical situation. So based on this, you have question number 25. It might look a bit daunting considering there's a huge uh, theory given for you to read, but it's not that tough, right? Just get water and come. Answers, please. So it says what a moving walkway is 300 foot long. So this is 300 foot long. Conveyor belt that moves continuously at 3 feet. So this is moving at 3 feet per second. In words problem, it is very important that you read every sentence and understand what it is. So it says when Bill steps on the walkway, this is a place where Bill steps on the walkway. A group of people that are also on the walkway stands 120 feet front of him. Now this is a place where a group of people stand. This is 120 feet. Straightforward logic. Now it says he walks towards a group of people at combined rate, that is both walkway and foot speed at 6 feet. So Bill's speed is 6 feet per second. He is walking, right? Reaches a group of people and then remains stationary until the walkway ends. But group of people, it says that they are stationary. But technically, group of people is moving with 3 feet per second. So the group of people is 3 feet per second. The speed of group of people is 3 feet per second. Why? Because walkway is moving. And this 3 feet per second is also added in the Bell's speed. See here. 6 feet per second includes both walkway plus the Bell's foot speed. So if you consider group of people speed as 0, you will have to consider Bell speed as 3, not 6. Because Bell speed is what? Walkway speed plus foot speed. So the people, the group of people who are standing over here, there is no foot speed at all. It's only walkway speed, that is 3 feet per second. So group of people is moving at 3 feet per second. And Bill is moving at 6 feet per second. So it says that after this place here, I say, he walks towards a group of people at 6 feet per second, reaches the group of people and then remains stationary. So what is the time taken by Bill to catch group of people? Time taken by Bill to catch group of people is what? Gap distance by difference of speed. What is the gap distance? When Bill is steps on the walkway, group of people is 120 feet. So gap distance is 120 feet. By difference of speed, that is 6 minus 3, that is 3. So this is 40 seconds. So time taken by Bill to catch group of people is 40 seconds. So what is distance traveled by Bill in 40 seconds? 6 into 40, that is 240 feet. So this is a place where Bill and group of people meet. That is 240 feet. And this is a total 300 feet. So what is the remaining now? The remaining feet is how much? 60 feet. This is 60 feet. So it says here that Bill moves with a group. Bill becomes stationary. And rest this 60 feet, Bill covers with just the walkway speed. Will Bill cover the distance? This 60 feet, Bill cover the distance with group. Simple logic. So what is time taken to cover this 60 feet? 60 by 3. That is 20 seconds. So what they're asking you, what is the Bill's average speed? So average speed is what? Total distance by total time. Total distance is 300 feet. Total walkway is 300. Total time is what? Till this place, Bill covers in 40 seconds. And this distance Bill covers in 20 seconds. So total time is 60 seconds. So 60 by 30. 5 feet per second is your answer. Tell me someone who didn't understand. I did nothing. I've just followed the question and formed the equation in front of you. This is not a tough problem. Reading this may be a daunting to you, but technically the reading is very clear. You read and you form your equation. Is this understood? Anyone, any problem? Saddeq, any
No.
problem here? Ujjwala, any problem?
Understood, Rahul.
Question number 26, please. So what's the question over here? John and Jacob set out together on a bicycle traveling at 15 miles and 12 miles per hour. So this is John who's traveling at 15 miles per hour, and this is Jacob who's traveling at 12 miles per hour. After 40 minutes, John stops to fix a flat tire. So what is the time, what is the distance traveled by John in 40 minutes? 15 into 40 by 60. These are all easy questions. 2 to the 4, 2, 3, 6, 3, 5, 15. So 10 miles. Now, in 40 minutes, John has traveled 10 miles. But in that 40 minutes, Jacob must have also traveled something. That is 12 into 40 by 60. 8 miles. Now it says that if it takes John 1 hour to fix the flat tire. Now at this place, John has stopped for 1 hour. Why he has stopped for 1 hour? Because he need to fix the flat tire. But in that 1 hour, Jacob continued to move. So Jacob is moving at 12 miles per hour. And next 1 hour, he'll move for 12 miles. So this is a place where Jacob is, right? So if it takes John 1 hour to fix the flat tire and Jacob continues to ride during this time. So Jacob has reached at this point. How many hours will it take John to catch Jacob? So please understand now after 1 hour he resumes work. He resumes his ride. So it says that how, and considering John speed is 15 miles, Jacob's speed is 12 miles per hour. So John will catch Jacob for sure. So when he's at this place, when John starts to move after 1 hour, Jacob is right at this place. Now Jacob is moving over here. So what is the gap distance? Gap distance is this. So time taken by John to catch Jacob would be what? Time taken by John to catch Jacob is gap distance by difference of speed. So what is the gap distance? Jacob has traveled 8 plus 12, 20 miles. And this is 10 miles. 20 minus 10, this is 10 miles. So gap distance is 10. By difference of speed, 15 minus 12, that is 3. That is 3.33 miles per hour. This is what they are asking about. What time he will take, he'll catch, what time John will catch. Understood or not? Tell me. Any problem here? So question number 26 and question number 29 are exactly the same but in different wording. Can you please try this? Exactly the same question, but different way of interpreting it. And that's the reason I have been telling you, be very careful about the language. You will not be trapped on the logics or on the mathematical part of it, but you will be 100% trapped in the language, remember. So to ensure that you perform well in arithmetic, it's closing eyes and practicing more number of a question. Don't get frustrated that it's not happening. There are two ways of practicing the question, guys. It's up to you that you start solve a question, it is not being solved and you get frustrated out of it, which makes no sense at all. It's absolutely okay. Read it 100 times, make your equation, form your equation, do the question. Automatically a day will come when you will realize that things are happening now. So it says what a hiker walking at a constant rate of 4 miles per hour is passed by a cyclist traveling in the same direction along the same path at a constant miles of 6 for 20 miles per hour. The cyclist stops to wait for the hiker 5 minutes after passing her. So imagine this is the place where this is hiker, which is walking at 4 miles per hour, and this is cyclist. Which is going at 20 miles per hour. So imagine this is a place where cyclists cross the hiker. So it says what cyclist stops to wait for the hiker 5 minutes after passing her. So this is a point. Imagine cyclist passes the hiker. Now distance traveled by cyclist in 5 minutes, because they are trying to say that once the cyclist passes the hiker, he goes for 5 minutes and he stops. So distance traveled by cyclist in 5 minutes is how much? 200 into 5 by 60. I'm considering it into hour. So this is gone. 2 tens are 20. So what is this? 200 into 5 by 60. What is the distance it travels? There's this gone. 2 3 are 6. 2 tens are 50 by 3. Is this over? Check. It's not 220 miles. I'm so sorry. So this is gone. To 5 by 3 miles. It is 20 into 5 by 60. So cyclist traveled 5 by 3 miles. Simple logic in 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, hiker must have also traveled something. No? That is 4 into 5 by 60. 1 by 3 miles. So hiker has traveled for 1 by 3 miles. Now they are asking you, how many minutes must cyclist wait until the hiker, until he catches up the hiker? How many minutes cyclist should wait until? So time taken by hiker to reach cyclist is what? Gap distance by difference of speed. That is 5 by 3. So what is gap distance? This is the gap distance. 5 by 3 minus 1 by 3. That is 4 by 3. What is difference of speed? Please understand cyclist is waiting over here. is not moving. So technically cyclist speed is 0. So difference of speed will be 4 minus 0. Because if cyclist is moving, then hiker will never be able to catch cyclist. Logically, this is what it is. Please understand. The logic says what? That if your speed is more only, then you will be able to catch someone. If your speed is less, you can't catch someone. So here the cyclist is waiting for the hiker to reach up. Understood? Any problem here? And that's the reason cyclist speed I'm considering 0. Difference of speed is this minus this. That's it. So 4 by 3 by 4, 4 cancel. That is 1 by 3 into 60, 20 minutes. How many minutes? The question is asking me in minutes. I've considered everything I was considering into hours. So last I've changed 1 by 3 into 60, 20 minutes. Is this clear? Any problem here? Can we try question number 27, please? Take a minute. Easy question. So what's this over here, 27th number? During a 40-mile trip, Marla traveled at an average speed of X miles per hour for the first Y mile. So let's say this is a 40 miles trip. For first Y miles, they travel at 40 miles, X miles per hour. And the remaining they traveled at, that is, remaining is 40 minus Y. They travel at 1.25 X miles per hour. The time that Marla took to travel the 40 miles. So what is the time she took to travel? Y by X plus 40 minus Y by 1.25x. This is the total time she took to travel in this fashion. So the question says the time that Marla took to travel the 40 miles was what percent of the time it would have taken her if she traveled at an average speed of x miles per hour for the entire trip. So if she travels at average miles at x miles per hour for the entire trip, time taken by for this is 40 by x. So they are asking you this time is what percent of this time. That's it. So this x cancels. If you know the value of y, you will be able to solve this. So be sufficient to answer it. Technically, it's a data sufficiency question. You don't have to solve. So if you know the value of y, you will be able to put the percentage that this time is what percent of this time. Simple one. It's simple. Like imagine 5 minutes is what percent of 10 minutes. So 5 by 10 into 100, 50%. Percentage logic is clear now. How should you be calculating percentage and all? Those are very, very simple stuff. If at all you are confused for a little bit also that 10 is what percent of 100 and 5 is what percent of 10. So these things, please ensure that you make it clear. Just write percentage basics on YouTube. There will be 1000 video popping up where you can clear all these small doubts, but don't have absolutely you are not supposed to have all these small doubts about percentage when you're solving this question. You should be very, very clear with it. So you be very sure from your end. If you're very clear, it's all okay. But if you feel that there is some sort of a clarity you need, just open YouTube, put percentage basics. You will have some thousands of video popping up. But do not simply do it without being cleared with those small concepts. Those are very small concepts. If 5, 10 is what percent of 100, 5 is what percent of 10, this many percent someone takes, what is left to you. Those are very simple things. If you look for half an hour something, it will be very clear. Question number 28. If such questions are asked in your exam, the conversion will be given to you over the exam. So here I can say you 1 feet is equal to 1 miles is equal to 5280 feet. I think I'm right. 5820 or 5280. Let me check it once. 1 miles in feet. 5280. I'm sorry. 5280 feet. But you don't have to remember this. If this such conversions are given, it will be very clear. All the conversions will be very clearly given to you in the question itself. Can you please try doing question number 28? So what the answer? If it took Carlos half an hour to cycle from his house to library yesterday, what is the distance he cycled greater than 6 miles? So this is house and this is library. So it says that it took him half an hour to cycle. The time it took to travel from home to library is half an hour given to you. If it took Carlos half an hour to cycle from his house to library, the question is asking, was the distance he cycled greater than 6 miles? Is D greater than 6 miles? This is my question. Option number one says what the average speed of Carlos is 16, like 16 the average. So it is given, the options are given to you in terms of speed. So is there any liberty for us to convert questions in terms of speed? So it says is D greater than 6 miles per hour. This is my question. So distance is equal to what? Speed into time. Is speed into time greater than 6 miles? So time is given half an hour. So is S into half greater than 6 miles, or can I say is S greater than 12 miles per hour? But my options are given in terms of feet per second. So I'll convert 12 miles per hour into feet per second. That is 12 into 1 mile is 5280 feet. So 12 into 5280 by hours to second, to 60 into 60. That's it. This 0 cancel. 6 to the 12, 230 the 60, 3 10 the 30, 3 1 the 3, or 2 3 7 the 21, 3, that is 17.6 feet per second. So this is all crap what we did. My question is speed greater than 17.6 feet per second? These are all the things that I have done here to change the question, but this has no relevance at all technically. So my question given to me is speed greater than 17.6 feet per second? Option number one says what? The average speed at which the Carlos cycled to his house to library yesterday was greater. So option number one says S is greater than 16 feet per second. So just by knowing that S is greater than 16 feet per second, can I say S is greater than 17.6? No, it could be 17, it could be 18. I don't know. So not sufficient. Option number two says what? The average speed at which the Carlos cycled from his house to library yesterday was less than. So S is less than 18 feet per second. Just by knowing that S is less than 18 feet per second, can I say it is greater than 17.6? No. It could be 17.8, it could be 16. So not sufficient. Even if you combine when S lies between 16 feet and 18 feet, I cannot at all say that it is greater than 17.6 or not. It could be 17, it could be 17.8. So not sufficient. E is the. So question might look a bit twisted, but these are pretty simple if you understand it. Any problem? Can we do the last question for speed time understanding? 38th number. What the answer? So it says a boat traveled upstream at a distance of 90 miles per hour. So let's say it's 90 miles, A to B. So boat travels upstream a distance of 90 miles at an average speed of V minus 3 miles per hour. This is 90 miles. And let's say this is upstream. So this has to be downstream from the well. So it says that a boat traveled upstream at an average speed of V minus 3 miles per hour and then traveled the same distance downstream at an average speed of V plus 3 miles per hour. If the trip upstream took half an hour longer than the downstream, so its time taken by upstream is half an hour plus time taken to downstream. This is what they are trying to say. Trip upstream took half an hour longer than downstream. That's it. So what is time taken by boat to go upstream? 90 by V minus 3 is equal to 2 by. You just have to solve this equation. Nothing else is. That is 90 by V minus 3 minus 90 by V plus 3 is equal to half. So 90 V plus 270 minus 90 V plus 270 by V square minus 9. I directly write over here. V square minus 9 by 3. This cancels. This becomes 0. Sure. 2 is equal to V square minus 9. That is 0, 8, 0 plus 9 is equal to V square. So V is equal to 30. What they are asking is, how many hours did it take the boat to travel downstream? So V plus 3. So this is your answer. 90 by 33 plus 3. I think you should get 2.5. Is this clear? So next is work rate, which is very much same as time, distance, and speed. But there is a ways to solve problem you need to understand. So distance, what we learned in distance? Distance is equal to speed into time. And work formula is given as rate into time. So from the question solving perspective, what we have over here, we know that speed is equal to distance by time, or time is equal to distance by speed. In speed, time, and distance from the question perspective, we know this. But in work rate, the denominator is always time. Please understand this. Always and always time. There is nothing else at all. There is not time is equal to work by rate and rate is equal to, it's always time in denominator. It's only, the concept is only from the way, from the perspective you solve the question. Now, technically it comes that how do you get to solve work rate time problem? There is a very subtle way and you should only follow the process that you have been doing because these are the chapters that you have been studying right from your childhood. Do not try and change the method of you solving, but just learn exactly how should you approach a work rate and time problem. There's a bit different approach to it because in speed, time, and distance, in all these, except for work and rate, in all other sections, you can actually experiment with the way you solve. You can bring this thought process, you can bring that thought process, but where questions from work rate and time is concerned, do not change your thought process. Let you solve a bit longer. That doesn't matter. You take time, no issues about it, but ensure that what you are doing should make sense. You are not trying to change the methods of you solving questions in work time, work rate and time. So what exactly are the questions? The questions are very basic asked to you that imagine if we can complete a work in 10 hours. We can complete the same work in 20 hours. C can complete the same work in 30 hours. It says that how much time it will take A plus B plus C if they are combined and finish the same work in how many hours? Technically, when you say that when A can do a work in 10 hours alone, when it combined with B and C, the entire work has to be completed in less than 10 hours. Yes or no? Logic says this, yes or no? Tell me. A can do a piece of work in 10 hours, B can do it in 20 hours, C can do it in 30 hours. And I'm asking you if you combine A, B and C, how much time will it take them to complete the same work? It has to be less than 10 hours because A can alone do it in 10 hours. So how do you finish? How do you take it out? So it's all different way of interpreting it. So imagine A can do a piece of work in 10 hours. So unit amount of work done by A and B is how much? 1 by 10. So unit amount of work A will finish in 1 by 10 hours, right? Or I can say in 1 hour, A will finish 1 by 10th of the work. Simple logic, whatever you want to say. When I say ki A can do a complete work in 10 hours, so in 1 hour A can do how many works? 1 by 10 hours. So in 1 hour B can do how many works? 1 by 20 hours. 1 by 20th of the work. In 1 hour C can finish how much? 1 by 30th of the work. Because they say that C can finish that entire work in 30 hours. So in 1 hour he will finish 1 by 30th of the work. In 1 hour B will finish 1 by 20th of the work. In 1 hour A will finish 1 by 10th of the work. So in 1 hour A plus B plus C will finish how much work? 1 by 10 plus 1 by 20 plus 1 by 30th of the work. That is nothing but, let's say 60. This is 6. This is 3. This is 2. That is 11 by 60th of the work in 1 hour they'll finish. So total time taken to finish the work will be how much? 60 by 11. It will finish in 5.5 hours. So imagine when I'm trying to say you, in 1 hour, you can finish 1 by 10th of the work. So total time taken to finish the entire work is how much? 10 by 1. That is 10 hours. So it is all different way of interpreting it. That's it. Am I being very clear? This is a simple logic which can be used in any work rate problem. And this is the only logic that is used everywhere. But please ensure, be very careful about work rate and time problem. If there is some method that you have been following right from your childhood, please follow that method. Let it take time to you. It doesn't matter at all. But do not try and do anything, any experiments with this topic, work rate and time. Can we solve question number 31? And I'll relate that all the questions you can solve with the logic that I've told you. I'll just tell you. Can you please try 31 number? So it says that A and B can finish a work in 3 hours. So in 1 hour, how much work they can do? They can do 1 by 3 of the work. Simple logic. And this is just a denotation. That's it. When A and B together can finish a work in 3 hours, so in 1 hour, A and B can do how much? 1 by A plus 1 by B is equal to 1 by 3 hours. If machine A speeds were doubled, the two machine could do the same work in 2 hours. It says that if machine A speed are doubled, what I've told you, speed and rate are also always inversely proportional to each other. If machine A speed are doubled, time taken by A will be A by 2. 1 over A by 2 plus B remains same. They can finish the work in 2 hours. That's it. Now it says that how many hours does it currently take machine A to produce So they are trying to find out the value of A. Just subtract it. B cancelled. 1 by A minus 2 by A is equal to 1 by 3 minus 1 by 2. That is A, 1 minus 2. Here it is 6, 3 to the 6, 2 to the 6. That is A is equal to 6. So this is your answer. That's all. Any problem? Question number 32, please. Take a minute. Yeah, I think. So it says Tom walking alone can paint a room in 6 hours. He can paint a room in 6 hours. Peter and John can paint a room in 3 hours. John can paint a room in 2 hours. Simple logic. So it says respective. Tom starts painting the room and works on his own for 1 hour. So when Tom can finish the entire room in 6 hours, in 1 hour, how much Tom will finish? 1 by 6 of the room. So in 1 hour, Tom alone can finish 1 by 6 of the room. So what is the remaining room now? 1 minus 1 by 6. That is 5 by 6 of the room is remaining. Simple, straightforward logic. Now he says that he is joined by Peter and they work together for 1 hour. So when Peter and Tom joins, how much room they will finish in 1 hour? 1 by 6 plus 1 by 3. That is 6. They'll finish half of the room. They can paint half of the room. So what is remaining room now? 5 by 6 minus half. That is 6. 5, 2, 3 is 6. That is 1 by 3 of the room is remaining. 1 by 3 of the room is remaining. Now it says, now question says that finally John joins them and 3 of them work together to finish the room. So when John joins in 1 hour, how much room they can find? That is 1 by 6 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 2. That is they can spend. This is 6, 1, 3 to the 6, 2, 3 to the 6. That is 6 by 6. They can in 1 hour. If Tom, Peter, and J, TP and J joins in 1 hour, they can finish the entire room. But please understand, the remaining room is only 1 by 3. So they'll take 1 by 3 hours to finish the remaining room. Is this understood? Yes or no? Please tell me. They say the final step says that if P, P and J joins to finish the room, how much time it will take? So when I take out the calculation, I see that in 1 hour they will be able to complete the entire room. But technically 1 by 3 of the rooms were remaining. So it will take them 1 by 3 hours. That's it. Am I right? Now last is what fraction of the whole job was done by Peter. So Peter in this case did how much? 1 by 3. Now Peter in this case did how much? 1 by 3 of 1 by 3. That is 1 by 9. So total fraction Peter did is 1 by 3 plus 1 by. This is your answer for them. Anyone any doubt here? Question number 33, please. This is a completely inequality problem. It has got nothing to do with work rate. A. No. I think A is the right answer. A is the right answer. So it says that A can, well, A can do a piece of work in AR. A can do a piece of work in AR. So the unit amount of work done by A is 1 by AR. In 1 by A. B can do a piece of work in BR. So unit amount of work done by B will be 1 by B. Machine A and B together, machine A and B starts to work at the noon, means 12 o'clock. Working together at the respective rate. If A and B are even integer, is machine A rate equal to machine B? It means they are telling you is 1 by A equal to 1 by B. Or technically they are asking you is A equal to B. This is your question. That should be understood very clearly. The question is A equal to B? Now, in 1 hour, A and B will do how much work? 1 by A plus 1 by B, that is A plus B by AB of the work. Total work is 1, let's say, whatever. So in 1 hour, they'll be able to do this many jobs. A plus B by AB of the work. Now it says that machine A and B begins to work at noon, means 12 o'clock, working together if A and B are is machine A rate equal to machine B. Option number A says machine A and B can finish a work in 4 hour 48 minutes. So 4 hour 48 minutes is how much? That is 24 by 5 hours. They can finish the entire work in 24 by 5 hours. So unit amount of work done is this. Can I say 24 by 5 into A plus B by AB is equal to 1 work done. Now it is exactly the same. I have not done anything different. Imagine A can finish a total work in 10 hours. So unit amount of work done by A is how much? In 1 by 10. A can finish a total work in 10 hours. Unit amount of work A will do is 1 by 10 hour. In 1 hour, it will do 1 by 10th of the work. So unit amount of work into total, that is 10 hour it takes to do. 10, 10 cancel, 1 work is done. That's what I have done. I have not done anything different. I know that unit amount of work done by A and B is A plus B by AB. I know total amount of time they take is 24 by 5 hours. 24 by 5 hour into unit amount of work is equal to 1. Work done. That's it. So this is nothing but 24 A plus B is equal to 5AB. Now check here. What the question is asking you? Is if A and B are even integer, is rate of machine A equal to rate of machine B? Imagine I say you rate of machine A. Imagine. I'm like, let's say A equal to B. And when I put it over here, it becomes A equal to B. It means 2A. 24 into 2A is 48A is equal to 5A square. A equal to B. So A cancel. A is equal to 48 by 5. Imagine what they are asking us. They are telling us that if A and B are even integer is A equal to B. I have assumed that let's say A equal to B. Then the value of A that I should get should be even integer now. Because they are telling you that if A and B are even integer is A equal to B. For my shortcut, what I have done is I've assumed let's say A equal to B. You can actually assume A equal to 2A, B is equal to 2B, some even integer, try and proceed on. But it makes no sense. You will end up doing the same thing what I'm. So I have assumed that let's say A equal to B. When I have assumed A equal to B, what I should get A is should be always even integer. I'm not getting A as an integer also. You forget about even integer and all. So it's a confirm no answer. A will never be equal to B from option number 1. Because I have done my equation. This is my final equation. And from here, from the work rate is just still this place. Now they are telling you A and B are even integer is A equal to B or not. So I've assumed let's say A equal to B. So technically what I was expecting that if I get the value of A and B, I should get the value as an even integer. But here I'm not getting A as an integer also. So it's a confirm no answer. Second says what? A plus B is equal to 20. Because if you square root both the sides, it could be 10, 10. It could be 10 and 8. They could be equal, they may not be equal. A may be equal to B, A may not be equal to B, so not sufficient. A is the right answer. Confirm no. It's not a confirm yes answer. So it is namesake words problem, but technically it's completely inequality. From words problem, you just need to come till here. This equation is given you, they're asking you, given that A and B are into even integer is equal to. Question number 34, please. Yep. So guys, these are a type of question which are very frequently asked in CAT. And now here the question is pretty simple one, but can be made very complex. And any such type of a question, you can close your eyes and use a formula. There's something a formula called MDH masala. That is M1 D1 H1 by W1 is equal to M2 E2 H2 by W2. Any such type of a problem, you can close your eyes and use this form. You're not supposed to think anything else at all. Where M stands for machine, D stands for days, H stands for hour, W stands for work. Simple, straightforward logic. Now it says six machines each working at a constant rate can complete a job in 12 days. A lot of time what happens that you are just checked on M1 D1 is equal to M2 D2. Now in this case, this is what is being checked. Many a time it happens you are checked on M1 D1 by W1 is equal to M2 D2 by W2. A lot of time you may be checked on this. In this question, you are being just checked on M1 D1 is equal to M2 D2. So it says six machines working at constant rate can complete a job in 12 days. How many extra machines are required? Each working at the constant rate can complete a job in 8 days. So that is 8. So 6 into 12 by 8 is equal to M2. This is nothing but 4 through the 2, 9. That is 9 machines. So what is the extra machine? Already 6 machine you had. So 9 minus 6. This is the extra machine. 9 minus 6, 3. That is the 3 is the extra machine that you will get. Now, this questions can be made very complex, saying that 6 machines can complete 200 units of job. 6 machines can complete 200 units of job in 12 days. How many extra machines are required to complete 400 units of job in 15 days? Now, what will you do? If you don't know this formula, you will literally go mad. This is a place where you can easily make a unitary method. M1 D1 is equal to M2 D2. 6 machines can do a job in 12 days. How many extra machines are required to do a job in 8 days? So 6 into 12 is equal to M2 into 8. That's absolutely 100% fine. So unitary method, this question can be done when it is M1 D1 by is equal to M2 D2. But moment they insert a work element, you will go mad. But if you know this formula, it will be all done. Question number 35, please take a minute. Pretty simple one. Absolutely. You don't have to do anything over here. Just 1 by A plus 1 by B is equal to 5 by 6. Because they say A and B can do a work, can fill up a tank in 6 by 5 hours. In 1 hour, they can fill 5 by 6 of the tank. And now A and C can finish, that is 1 by A plus 1 by C is equal to 2 by 3. And 1 by B plus 1 by C is equal to 1 by 2. Just add it. There is 2, 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C is equal to 5 by 6 plus 2 by 3 plus 1 by 2. When you add this, you will get 2 over here. So technically, 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C is equal to 1. A plus B plus C is also equal to. So 1 should be your answer. That's it. Pretty simple one. Nothing needs to be done at all. So this was time. This was work rate and time. Now the next concept is interest. Pretty simple topic. Very, very simple topic. Question from interest can be daunting looking into the structure, looking into all the language stuff and all, but it's pretty simply calculated. Very simple question. So an interest, first of all, let's look what is simple interest. Simple interest, all of you might have read, that is nothing but P into R into T by 100. So P is a principal amount. Imagine if you put $100 and you are getting interest of 8% in 1 year. So in 1 year, what is the interest that you will get? $8. In terms of simple interest, if you put the same money, $100 for 2 years, what is the interest that you will earn? $16. In terms of simple interest, if you put the money for 3 years, what is the interest that you will earn? That is 100 into 3 by 100. So this is gone, you will earn $24. So what you look into simple interest is that you get interest only on the principal amount. You get interest only on the principal amount. This is what is simple interest. So simple interest, simple means that if you go to a bank and you deposit 1 lakh rupees at a interest rate of 8%, which is very little. No one in the world gives you interest of 8%. But still, let's say if you get an interest rate of 8%. So if you take it out after 10 years, it will be simple 8% of 1 lakh rupees, you will earn 80,000. That's all. So it's a very bad idea to keep your money in the simple interest. Now it doesn't work at all. Now it's all compound interest. So what is a compound interest? Compound interest happen that let's say you have put $100 in the bank account. In the first year, you have got an interest rate of $8. So in compound interest, what happens that the original principal amount, which is $100, combines with your interest, that is $108, and it acts as a principal for the second year. So whatever interest you earn over here, so this amount plus your interest will act as a principal amount for third year. So this is what compound interest. So compound interest is given by formula amount minus principal, where amount is what? A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power T. Now this is a formula for a compound interest when the interest is compounded annually. So compound interest can also be compounded half yearly. In that case, the formula would be A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 200 to the power 2t. Now this is a formula when interest is compounded half yearly in terms of compound interest. And it will be very clearly given to you in the question. In compound interest question, things will be very clearly stated that it's the compounding is happening at annually rate or half yearly, or it could be quarterly. So quarterly formula would be given as A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 400 to the power 40 when interest is compounded quarterly. So technically these are the three things where interest is compounded. People say it could be compounded monthly also. In that case, it will be divided by 12, but question only comes annually, half yearly or quarterly. That's it. Questions might seem very daunting in interest, but it's technically easy one. Can we do question number 36, please? So it says what? A certain investment grows at annual interest rate of 8% compounded quarterly. Which of the following equation can be solved to find the number of years x that it would take the investment to increase by factor of 16? So if P is the principal amount, so A is equal to what? P into 1 plus R by 400 to the power 4t. So it says that which of the following equation can be solved to find the number of year x that it could take for the investment to increase by factor P? So A becomes 16P if the P is principal amount, 1 plus R is what? 8 by 400 to the power 4x. I have to just find this equation. So PP cancels out, right? So 850 is off. So it becomes 16 is equal to 1 by 1 plus 50 is nothing but 1.02 to the power 4x. So this is 2 to the power 4 is equal to 1.02 to the power 4x. 4 cancel, you are left with 2 is equal to 1.02x. That's it. This is the equation. Thirty-seventh number. The question is distorted over here. I'll just open it in a different stuff once. 1 minute, please. Can you please try doing question number 37 here? From here. Exactly the same thing. So what they are trying to see here. Very simple question. R is equal to 100 into V plus Q by T minus 1. Minus This is what came. R is equal to 100 V plus Q by P minus 1. Perfect. So it says what? This information is given to you in the question, that is R is equal to 100 into V plus Q by P minus 1. I've told you right in the first class on the day of data sufficiency when we were doing inequality that if there is some information that is given to you in the question, that is not to joke around. There is a meaning as to why it is given to you in the question. So imagine if I just rephrase the given information to me. That is R by 100 plus 1 is equal to root of V plus Q by P. I can do this, right? Or I can just square both the sides and do V plus Q by P is equal to 1 plus R by 100 square. And I can do V is equal to nothing, P into 1 plus R by 100 square minus Q. So this entire information is nothing, but if you remove all this stuff, this entire information comes down to V is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 whole square minus Q. This is what this information is given to you. That's all. Now this is what the question is. It says an investor purchased a share of a non-dividend paying stock for P dollars on Monday. He purchased for P dollars on Monday. For a certain number of days, the value of share increased by R% per day. How many days it increased? It increased for 2 days. For a certain number of days means it increased, the share increased for 2 days at R% per day. After this period of a constant increase, the value of share decreased the next day by Q dollar. Next day, value of share decreased by Q dollar. An investor decided to sell the share at the end of the day. So he has kept the share completely at the end of the day. He decided to sell the share. At the end of, for V dollars. Which of the following value of share at how many working days the investor bought the share and was the share sold? 2 days it increased, 1 day it decreased, at this day it decided to sell the shares, a total 3 days. This should be your answer. That's it. Looks to be very difficult problem, but it's the easiest problem that you can get in the exam. Everything is given. So be very sure if the problem looks very complex and if you read it a bit also properly, think it's gonna be a very simple step. 38 number, please. Take a minute. So this is the equation that is given to you. I is given to you 210. N is given to 2 years. You will get the value of R. This value of R may be less than 8%. You will have a confirm no answer. This value of R, it can be equal to 8%. You will still have a confirm no answer. Value of R can be greater than 8%. You will have a confirm yes answer. So this is sufficient. If you are taking more than 20 seconds to say the statement number 1 is sufficient. If you are taking more than 20 seconds, it means there is some problem for sure. You should 100% check on your data sufficiency solving skill. Option number 1 is straightforward sufficient. It should be done in 20 seconds, not more than that. Now second option says 1 plus R by 100 square greater than 1.15. That is nothing but 1 by 100. So in this option, the best way is to solve this. A lot of people take value of R 8%, value of R 7%, 7.5%. They start calculating it, but that's not required. That's a bit lengthier process. It's better to solve this particular equation. So if when you take a square on both the sides, when you take a root on both the sides, this goes off and this becomes 100. So 1 plus R by 100 is greater than 1 by 10. Root of 115. Now your job is not to calculate what is root of 115. If you want to learn these calculations, you can go and learn. There's something called Vedic math. In 2 seconds, 2 steps, you'll be able to calculate what is root of 115. 2 seconds exact value, you can calculate it. But you will have to learn that. But you don't have to do all those things. See here. Root of 100 is what? 10. Root of 121 is what? 11. Right? Straightforward logic. So 111 comes right in the middle. So approximate value of 11 should be 10.5. So here 100, 11, 100, 12, 100, 13, 100, 14, 100, 15, 100, 16, 100, 17, 100, 18, 100, 19, 100, 20, 100, 21. This is 10.5, this is 10.6, 10.7, 10.8, 10.9. So for every two value down, you can take one value below. Simple. So this is 111, 112, 113. This will go 114, 114, 10.7 will come. It's straightforward. So write it here 10.7. That's it. 1 plus R by 100 greater than 1 by 10 into 10.7. That becomes 1.07. And that is nothing but R is greater than R by 100 is greater than 1.07 minus 1. That is R is greater than 7%. If R is greater than 7%, it can be 7.5, it can be 8.5, not sufficient. My question is saying is R greater than 8%. But here I'm getting R is greater than 7%. It can be 7.5, it can be 8, so not sufficient. So A is my answer. Clear? Question number 39, please. B. Yes. So it says what? Number of antelope in a certain herd increases every year at a constant rate. Number of antelope in a certain herd every year at a constant rate. If there are 500 antelope in the herd today, how many years will it take the number of antelope to double? So how many years it will take to double? So it says that 10 years from now, there will be more than 10 times. Moment you say more than 10 times, it means impossible to solve with this statement. It says here 10 years from now, there will be more than 10 times the number of antelope in the herd today. More than 10 times, what, 20 times, 30 times, 40 times, 50 times, 60 times, 70 times, 80 times. This code, you have no idea about it, how much it is. So when you don't know anything, it's not sufficient. Because you need to find the rate. Imagine I give you 5 rupees and I tell you that every year your money will double. Tell me how much money you have in 100 days. You will be able to tell me. Because the calculations are very clear to you. You have 5 rupees, you know every day your money will double. Tomorrow it will become 10, day after tomorrow it will become 20, then it will become 40. You can actually calculate it. So you need to know at what rate things are happening, the value of R, to understand how much time it will take to double, triple, and whatsoever. That you are not getting from statement number one, because it is more than 10 times, more than 10 times, it could be 20 times, 30 times, 40 times. We have no idea about it. So done. Second says if the herd were to grow in a number at twice its current rate, there could be 980 antelopes in the group in 2 years. So 980 it will be in the 2 years. Initial was 500, 1 plus twice the rate by 100 in 2 years. You will get the value of R. Once you get the value of R, you can tell how much time it will take to double, triple, and all these things. So sufficient. You don't have to solve it. B is the answer. That's all. Clear? So question number 40. Option number 1 says the explanation, the value is this. So before you get into this question, there's one theory that's front of you. This entire thing is distorted with. So you need to understand this formula. Final is equal to initial into factor of multiplication over total time taken by time interval. So there's one formula that they have given you. Looks to be a huge formula, but it's pretty simple one. It says final is equal to initial into factors of multiplication. Factors of multiplication by total time taken by time interval. This is the formula. So you need to understand when should you be using this formula. That whole point should be very clear. When you are dealing with the problems of populations and all, then you have to use this formula. The population is like, let's say, certain culture of bacteria increases by factor X for every Y minute. So certain culture of bacteria increases by factor X for every Y minute. So whenever you're dealing with the population problem, you can use this for sure. So it says what? I'll just explain you what exactly this formula. Imagine you have $100. I'm telling you, every 3 hours, your money is doubling. So in first 3 hours, it becomes $200. In next 3 hours, it becomes $400. In next 3 hours, it becomes $800. In next 3 hours, it becomes $1,600. In next 3 hours, it becomes $3,200. Simple logic. Agreed? Now, I'll just explain you this particular formula with the respect of this example. So finally, after 5 hours, how much you had? $3,200, right? So this is the final amount that you had. And what was the initial offering that you had? $100. What is factor of multiplication? Your money is doubling. So it is 2. What is total time taken? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 hours. And what is time interval? 5 hours. So that is 100 into 2 to the power 5. That is 3,200 into 3,200. So please ensure that do not bother about this formula at all. It is eventually exactly something which is pretty easy to understand with examples. So this is what the formula is used for. So whenever you get a question based on populations and all, this one formula can be used. So formula, again, I'm writing it over here. Final is equal to initial into factor of multiplication by total time taken by time interval. Can you please try this question? Take a minute. So what it says, if a certain culture of bucket increased by factor x for every y minutes. So factor of multiplication is x, time interval is y minutes, simple logic. How long will it take the culture to increase to 10,000 times its original amount? Let's say the original amount, let's say the initial is p, so final is 10,000 p. So 10,000 p is equal to p into factor of multiplication, that is x. Total time is that we have to find by every y minute. That's all. P cancel. This is 10 to the power 4. This is x 1 over y to the power t. Can I write this? And it is given to me. X 1 over y is equal to 10. This is what it means. So 10 to the power 4 is equal to 10 to the power t. T is equal to 4 minutes. Sufficient. Now, statement number 2 says in 2 minutes, the culture will increase to 100 times its original amount. If in 2 minutes it increases to 100 times, it means in 4 minutes it will increase to 100 into 100, that is 10,000 times. So this straight away saves you 4 minutes. Sufficient. So D is done. Agreed. So technically your math is over. You are done with the inequalities. You are done with the absolute value. You are done with the stats. You are done with number system, geometry, coordinate geometry, arithmetic. What one is left is PNC and probability. I would say do not even think of this topic at all. Thinking about this topic is a sin that you will be creating with your preparation right at this point of time. What I can see, you can only think about PNC and probability when you are really, really good in this topic, because PNC and probability is a topic, guys, where you really, it's not about that you practice 3 days and tomorrow you will be fine with the probability and PNC topics. No, it takes a good amount of time to be fine with this topic. And right now, in the present exam condition, hardly 1 or 2 questions are asked. I'm being very sure about it. There are people who have got 50 out of PNC and probability and they have not done, but they have not done it and they have still managed to get 50 for sure. So I'm not telling that I will not teach you. I'll give you one class for this. But all I'm trying to say you that the main part of math is done. You start up your preparation. Don't wait for a days to start tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Technically, by November end, as I have told you right in the beginning, that you should have been done with all the extra questions of all the topics. So still you have 2 weeks to go. So don't a lot bother about PNC. I can do PNC in probability. I can take a class for you. The basics class for you is that on 20 next week. Let's do it on 2nd of December. The basics class for PNC in probability. And that should be more than sufficient, because being a teacher, I can't even leave it. But all I'm requesting you that don't concentrate on this at all. It is not your job. It's a tricky topic. You will literally go mad. You can only think about PNC and probability when you are done with all these things properly. So what we can do is that let's have a class on, let's not have any class on next Saturday. Let's have a class on 2nd of December where I'll teach you the basics of PNC and probability. I can do that for sure, but I'll still tell, don't go mad about it till you have time. What's the date today? 18th. You have 12 days. Work as hard as possible. You work for 10 hours math, doesn't matter at all. But 4 hours you'll have to work for verbal as well. So you work for 5 hours, 6 hours, it does not matter. Finish the extra questions, minimum 60 to 70% of all the chapters. If it is not happening, it's a sin that you have created. Simply doing everything will not work. And extra question, when I say you to finish 60-70%, it's not that you look into the solution and start finishing it fast. That would never help, guys. In that fashion, if you do even 1,000 problem or 10,000 problem, it won't help. Finish, take your time, aram se solve questions, finish. No issues at all. And consider math to be done. PNC in probability, I'll teach you the basics on 2nd December, no issues at all. I'm giving you next 10-15 days so that you focus a lot on these things, which is done already. Agreed? And tomorrow we'll finish CR4, that is inference and boldface both. Inference is the most important topic. Boldface, I would say, is the easiest topic in CR. Inference is the most important topic of CR because a lot of RC questions are only based on inferences. So you need to understand how to solve an inference question. Agreed? Chalo sir. Bye. Take care.
Thank you, Rahul. Bye.